Good morning, Tulip friends. Happy Friday. Okay, are you guys ready to start? Let's sing hello. Ready? Hello, cha cha cha. Hello, cha cha cha. Hello, and how are you? Cha cha cha. I'm fine, cha cha cha. I'm fine, cha cha cha. And I hope that you are too. Cha cha cha. So guys, like I said yesterday, yesterday was the last day of April, so April is all gone. So we're actually going to start a brand new month today. So before I tell you it, let's see if we can try to figure it out. So remember, yesterday was the last day of April, so let's sing our month song to see if we can figure out what today is. So we have January, February, March, April. What comes after April? May. Okay, begins with the letter M. It's May. Could we say May? May. Good. That's our new month is May. We're in the month of May. We're in the month of May. Clap your hands. Clap your hands. We're in the month of May. We're in the month of May. Clap your hands. Clap your hands. Good. So today is the first day of May. Today is May 1st. Sometimes people call the 1st of May, it's called May Day, okay? And it's usually a holiday where people do things with flowers. And today is the 1st of May. But our season is still the same. What season are we in, guys? We are still in spring. And our year has not changed. What year is it? It's 2020. Can we say that together? Ready? 2020. That has not changed. So, I already told you, but let's see if you remember what day of the week it is. So, yesterday was Thursday. Yesterday was Thursday. So, now let's figure out what today is. We have Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. What? What day comes after Thursday? It's Friday. Today is Friday. Can we say Friday? Friday. Today is Friday. Now let's figure out what tomorrow will be. We have Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. What day comes after Friday? It's Saturday. Can we say Saturday? Saturday. Tomorrow will be Saturday. So let's go over the stuff we've been learning, because today, even though it's the first day of May, we're just going to finish up our April stuff. And then next Monday, we're going to start all brand new things. So let's make sure we know all this first before we move on. Ooh, that came out super crazy sloppy. Sorry. Okay, what is the name of this letter? What letter is this? This is the letter E. Can we say E? E. And what sound does E make, friends? E says eh, eh. Can we say that together? Ready? Eh, eh. Like egg. Egg. Very good. Okay, the next letter we learned was this letter. What letter was this? This is the letter N. Can we say N? N. And what sound does N make? N says nah, nah. Okay, say nah, nah. Like nah, nah, nose. Nah, nah, nose. Very good. And then the last letter we learned was this guy. What letter is this, friends? This is X. Can we say X? X. And what sound does X make? X says x, x. Like X. Right? And fox. So we have X-ray, fox. All say x, right? Okay, so one sec. Okay, so let's do our sight word. Our sight word was S-A-I-D. Who could tell me what S-A-I-D spells? What does that spell? That spells said. Can we say said? Said, like I said hello to my friends. Can we say said? Said. Good. Now let's do our word family, which was the E-N word family. E-N says N, right? Oh my goodness, friends, I just realized that's last week's word family. Hold on. Rewind that. That's last week's. This week's is not E-N. It's actually E-T. Just kidding. It's the E-T word family. And E-T says et. Can we say et? So I'm going to start with this letter. What letter is this? It's the letter P. And what sound does P make? P says p, p. Now I'm going to add et to that. So we have p, et, p, et, p, et. What do we hear? This is pet, like I have a pet guinea pig. The next one we had done was, what letter is this? W. And what sound does W make? W says wah, wah, right? And now we're going to add et to that. So we have wah, et, wah, et, wah, et. What do we hear? Wet, right? Like you get wet when you go out in the rain. We did this next. What letter is this? This is the letter N. What sound does N make? N says na, na. And now we're going to add et. So we have na, et, na, et, na, et. What word do we hear? This is net, right? Like I catch a butterfly in a net. And the last one we had done, at least for this week, we'll do more next week, was this letter. What letter is this? This is the letter G. And what sound does G make? G says ga, ga. So now we're going to add et to that. So we have ga, et, ga, et, ga, et. What word is that? That is get. Like, can you get me that book? Can we say get, get? So you guys can repeat after me. You ready? Et, pet, pet, wet, wet, net, net, get, get. Very good. So let's do our 2 numbers of the month. We're going to get new numbers next week. So let's just make sure we know these first. Okay, so what number is a 1 and a 5, guys? What number is a 1 and a 5? This is 15. Can we say 15, 15? And then we're going to do a 1 and a 6. What number is a 1 and a 6? This is 16. Can we say 16? So ready? 15, 15, 16, 16. Very good. So let's do our shape of the month. What shape is this? This is an oval. Can we say oval, oval? And what kind of sides does an oval have? It is curved sides. Can we say curved sides, curved sides? And then our color of the month was this guy. What color is this? This is yellow. Can we say yellow, yellow? Very good. So to do some more math review, I would like to do our count and move, where we are going to stand up. So I need everyone to stand up. What we're going to do is we're going to slowly count. Actually, hold on, I did it backwards. Everyone's going to crouch down. Just kidding. Everyone crouch down. We're going to slowly stand up and count to 10. Okay, so everyone should be sitting like frogs. We're going to slowly stand up and count to 10. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now we're going to sit back down and count backwards. Ready? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Let's do that one more time. Ready? Let's stand up and count from 1 to 10. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And now let's sit down and count backwards. Ready? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good job. Okay, I'm going to pause this for a second and I'm going to set up a little game. So let me pause this. Okay, friends, so what I did to give us some review again is I set up our number cards so we can play X-ray vision too. Okay, we played this a couple weeks ago. You guys can easily play this at home. I had sent you the number cards to print out, but honestly, it's easy enough. You can make these, and if you don't have a printer, you could just take paper and cut out 10 pieces and number them from 1 to 10. So what I want to do first is I want to count our numbers. So can you guys help me count? Ready? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now we're going to count backwards. Ready? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. So remember, for X-ray vision, I'm going to flip all these over now that we know where our numbers are. And remember, we're going to count to figure out where our cards are. And then when we get the right answer, we can leave it flipped over. So usually I would pick a card and you guys would count, but since we can't do that right now, I'm going to pick a card and you guys can help me from your end by counting. So I'm going to try to figure out what card this is. So how can we do that again? Well, we have to count. Remember, this number is what? What number is this? This is 1, right? So we can count. 1, 2, what number is this? 3, right? Okay. So now let's figure out another card. Let's figure out this guy. Okay. So here's the thing, friends. Instead of counting from 1 again, I'm actually going to count up from this number because we know this is 3, right? We don't have to count to know 1, 2, 3. We know this is 3. So we're going to start here and try to count up to find out this guy. So ready? 3, 4, 5. What number? 6, right? Okay. So let's try to figure out some other ones. I want to figure out this number. I bet you guys can do this without even counting. This number is 6, right? What number comes before 6? Without even counting. What number comes before 6? 5, right? 5 comes before 6, which would make this what number? Number comes after 3, or 4, 5. 4, right? We can do these without even counting. So let's do this number now. Well, again, I could count it from 1, but I don't need to. I know this number 6, so we can just start counting from here. 6, 7. What number is this? 8, right? Now, again, let's try to figure out some of these without counting, okay? Whenever I flip these two over, I bet you guys can tell me what number is this? 1, right? What number would this be then? What number comes after 1? 2, right? We have to count. Again, instead of counting it from 1, let's figure this out. We have 6, 8. What number comes after 6? 7, right? We have 8. We can count right up from here. We don't have to start again at once. So we have 8. What number comes after 8? 9. And then our last number, what number comes after 9? 10. We did it. We got all our numbers. So you guys can do this easily at home with your own pieces of paper that you make, or you can print out those cards I sent you a few weeks ago. And it's a nice little counting review. So we are going to move on to our plants. So I'm going to pause this and I'm going to go grab our lima bean plant again so we can check up on it. Okay, so I grabbed our lima bean plant. We'll see how much it grew, or if it grew from yesterday. So let's see. Oh, it's about the same as yesterday. That's okay though. Remember, it takes time to grow. So we only have 3 seeds left. Remember, I could throw the others out because I brought it. But that's okay. We can still see pretty well what's going on here. So let's look at this guy. This is still our smallest, but I'm gonna pull this a little closer. You could see that the shoot is starting to come out here. Okay. And it's curling around. So we have a little tiny baby shoot coming out of this plant. Our next one actually is a little bit farther along. And what's cool here is you could see, do you see these little things sticking out? some roots are actually starting to grow on this, which is pretty cool. You see the roots sticking out? Okay. Oh my goodness, I'm not throw the lima bean plant. Sorry, lima bean. But yeah, you can see the roots are actually starting to stick out a little bit here. And our last one, this guy's growing, wow, like crazy. Look at him go. He also, it's going to be really hard to see because they're tiny, but you see these little spiky things here? The roots are starting to grow on here as well. And again, we can see this thing starting to crack open because this is not going to need the food inside the seed for much longer. Eventually, this plant will start to make its own food through, what's that process? Photosynthesis, right? It's going to start to make its own food with sun and water. So it's not going to need this seed for much longer. And as you can see, it's pretty much splitting open. So we're going to check up on these on Monday. With another 2 days, they should probably have grown quite a bit more. They're doing quite well. So hopefully they'll continue to keep growing like this. And we'll be able to see those roots growing a little bit more. And our plant will start to grow up a little bit more. And we'll be able to see the different parts a little better. So I'm going to go put this back in the window. Because right now we have the water, right? When I made the paper towel damp, we have what we're using as our soil is paper towel in the bag because we're not using regular soil, just so it holds it all in place. I still have to give it sun from the window. Oh my goodness, sorry. And I'm keeping the top of the bag open so it gets the fresh air it needs. So friends, this week we've been talking so much about plants, okay? So I want to just do a little review with you guys. So this week we've been talking about different types of plants, right? And how they look different. We started this week with our fruits and vegetables, right? We said that a fruit has to have what in it? Fruit has to have seeds. So it's the type of plant that we eat that has seeds. So things like apples, even things like peppers and pumpkins, though, even though we eat them as vegetables, are actually fruits, right? Because they have seeds. Now, the other parts of the plant that we eat are our vegetables. Things like our root, like our carrot, right? Our stem, like celery, and our leaves, like spinach, are all vegetables because they're other parts of the plant. So we said that was the difference between fruits and vegetables, right? They're all plants, but there's some slight differences between them because they're different parts of the plant. We also talked about how plants can look different, right? We talked about seeds, right? That's the best way, even before they start to grow, we could see that they're different, right? We said lima bean seeds, right? Think about how big they are versus those teeny tiny carrot seeds we looked at. They look totally different, right? They're different colors, different sizes, different shapes even, but they still both grow into plants. And then we said the plants themselves look totally different, right, when they're grown. Think about the difference between like grass, right? It's kind of short and there's lots of it versus like a giant tree, right? They're both plants, even though one is really small and one is really big. They're still plants. Now, we said the thing that makes, they all look different, right? But there's something that makes them all the same. What do they all need? We said even though they all look different, they all still need sun, they still need water, they still need soil, okay, and they still need air. If they don't have those things, they're not going to grow. They also all grow in the same steps, right? They all start out as seeds, then they get into the little seedlings, and eventually they become grown-up plants that make their own seeds that we can plant again and start the whole thing over. The other thing we talked about also was that plants can live in different places, right? We said when I went on my site walk, or when Toby went on his site walk the other day, we saw the little video. Did anyone see a cactus? No, right? We don't have cactuses in New York. Or Toby went on his walk in Michigan. It's not a desert, okay? We would only find cactuses in the desert where it's really, really hot and they don't get a lot of rain. So the reason why the cactus can grow in the desert, like if we tried to plant one of our trees in the desert, it would never make it. But the reason that cactus can grow in the desert is because, right, we said it had an adaptation or a change that it made to allow it to grow, right? It had a big, thick stem, and it was like waxy, like a candle, so it could hold the water. And we said some plants can actually grow in water, right? Like our seaweed and our water lily, okay? They could grow in the water. Again, if we were to put one of our trees in the water, it wouldn't make it. But these types have special type of plants have a special type of adaptation or change that they make that allows them to grow in a different place. We also had talked about how some plants don't always have everything they need, right? So we said the Venus flytrap and the pitcher plant, they don't really get a lot of nutrients or vitamins from the soil they're growing in. So they make another type of adaptation or change biting bugs, which is crazy. I'm actually going to link a video today, a SciShow Kids one that teaches you more about plants that eat bugs. So they can make a change. They still need soil, but they're not really getting everything they need from the soil. So to help themselves, they eat bugs. And the other type we had talked about, again, the plants, they all need the same things, but they can make little changes to help themselves. The orchid plant, we said, right, doesn't actually really grow in soil. It grows on the top of a tree. So it can't use its roots to suck up the water. So instead it gets the water from the air around it. Because the rainforest, as the name suggests, is full of rain and it has lots of water. So the orchid's able to take the water in. So not only do plants look different, they can grow in different places, but they still all need the same things. So what I wanted to do today was read a book. We've read it before, but it's perfect for this. We're going to read this book, National Geographic Kids, which is plants, because this book shows pictures of all different types of plants, so we could see how they all look different. Now, our friend here has a strawberry plant. Is a strawberry a fruit or vegetable? I remember Shub had brought one of these into our small group, right, Shub? And we had noticed that there was lots of seeds on it. And since it has seeds, that makes it a fruit. So let's see some other types of plants. Plants are everywhere. Look around. There are plants everywhere. In the city, they live in flower pots and parks. Some plants even grow through cracks in the sidewalk, right? Like we live in the city. But plants don't only live in the city. They live all around the world. Let's take a look. Many amazing plants like the kapok tree live in the rainforest. And we talked about this, right? The rainforest gets lots and lots of rain. Kapok trees can be as tall as a 20-story building, which is crazy. Think how big that is. They tower over the canopy or treetops. That means they get lots of sunlight and other plants grow in their shade. So even trees can come in different sizes, right? There's some regular sized trees, and then this tree can be as tall as a 20-story building. So here was that orchid we talked about. This orchid lives in the rainforest. It does not need much light. It grows in the kapok tree's shade. Many orchids grow on other plants. So like we said, they can grow on tops of trees and they get their water because they're not in the soil, they're on another plant. They get their water from the air around them because the rainforest has so much water in the air. Some plants live in the water. Seagrass grows in shallow ocean water where there's plenty of sunlight. These underwater meadows are like home to lots of ocean animals like fish and crabs. For green sea turtles, seagrass is a yummy snack. So again, certain plants are able to grow underwater. Again, if I stuck one of my trees or my flowers from outside in New York in the water, it wouldn't grow. It's too much for it. But other types of plants can make adaptations or changes so they can grow in the water. Other plants live in ponds. This lily sits on top of the water. So here's our water lily. It has wide leaves to help it float. The desert is a tough place for plants to grow. It's too dry for most plants to live there. Some cactuses can live for 2 years without any water. Wow. Can you imagine not 2 years without being watered it can live? They have special parts to keep them cool and wet. So again, if we took like flowers from our garden right now and tried to plant them in the desert, they wouldn't make it, okay? They wouldn't have enough water and they would just kind of wither and wouldn't make it. But the cactus can go 2 years. Spiky needles. You can see a good picture of that here. Shade cactus from the sun. Waxy skin keeps water inside. Life in the desert is easy for our cacti. Like all plants, they have special ways to live in their home. And remember, those special ways was that fancy word adaptation, okay? It's the special changes a plant makes to live in a different place. Adaptation. So here it says, these plants are out of place. Help them find their homes. So I'm going to tell you guys the type of plant and you can tell me where it lives. Where does the orchid plant live? In the desert, the rainforest, or a pond? Which place does it live? An orchid lives in the rainforest. Where does a lily grow? In the desert, the rainforest, or a pond? Where do we find it? We find it in a pond. Where does the cactus live? In the desert, rainforest, or pond? It lives in the desert, right? So let's see some other types of plants. What is a plant? Well, most plants don't move very much. They don't run and they don't play. But all plants are living things. And that's because they grow and change just like you do. All plants need things to live. They need space to grow and they need food. So look how big this flower is. It's huge, right? And we have some, I think that's moss and some daisies here. So even though these are both flowers, look at the size difference. The daisies are like this big and this thing is like the size of my coffee table. Okay, big difference. They're both flowers, but totally different sizes. Plants can't go to the store and buy a sandwich. Instead, they have to make their own food from sunlight, water, air, and nutrients. They have special body parts to help them gather these ingredients. Leaves gather sunlight and air. Wider leaves get more light. Flat leaves gather more light too. So all plants need the same things, right? Our sunflowers need the same things to grow as our daisies do. Roots help plants absorb water and nutrients. They usually grow down into the soil and spread out wide. Spreading out helps the roots to collect more water. It also holds the plant in place. So here we have the roots, the stem, and the leaves. The stem carries water from the roots to the leaves. It also helps hold the plant up. All parts of the plant work together to keep the plant healthy. Most plants have similar parts, which means the same, but others are different. Trees have big stems called trunks, right? That big trunk is its stem. Tough bark, which is that scratchy brown stuff, covers their trunks and keeps them safe. However, duckweed actually has no stem at all. The plants cover the water like a big blanket. Duckweed is made up of many tiny plants. So again, both plants look nothing alike. Ooh, here's that Venus flytrap. The Venus flytrap is a strange plant. It doesn't only get water from sunlight. It doesn't only get food from sunlight, water, and air. It needs extra nutrients. It gets the extra nutrients it needs from bugs. When an insect lands on the leaf closes shut. The bug gets trapped. The Venus flytrap may be different, but it's still a plant. It makes its own food still, and it still needs space to grow. Just like other plants, its body parts all work together to help it live. And you can see those are those fine little hairs that they're talking about. When the bug lands on one of these, it makes it close. We're going to skip some of this. Plants grow up. Most plants start their lives as seeds. At first, they live inside or on their parent plant. Plants keep their seeds in different places. Some plants keep their seeds in pods or protective cases. Here's a pod. Not all plants have pods though. We talked about this earlier this week. Some keep their seeds in fruits. Many fruits have seeds on the inside, like papaya and apple. But strawberry seeds are on the outside. When seeds are ripe, it's time for them to leave their parent plant. They need their own space to grow. Seeds have many ways of traveling to their new homes. Some seeds use the wind. Dandelion seeds float from one place to another. So we saw this on our My Big World with Clifford the other day. Maple seeds actually twirl around like helicopters. It's a maple seed. Fir pods often go for a ride. They stick to animals that walk by. The animals then drop them off at their new homes. Now these can actually stick to people too. When my old elementary school, we used to have these and they would get stuck to the bottom of your pant leg. But that's actually good for the plant because then when you kick it off, it grows somewhere new, wherever you kicked it. Soon the seeds fall to the ground. Now each has its own space and it's ready to grow into the plant. First, the seeds split open. Then the new plant's roots are pushed down into the soil. We actually are seeing this right now, right? With our lima bean plants, we're seeing the seeds are starting to crack open and the shoots are coming out. So we're at this step right now with our lima bean plant. Now here's where we're starting to get. The roots are just starting to grow. The roots then grow long. They gather water. The plant's shoot grows up out of the soil. The plant then grows taller and stronger. So this is where our lima bean is going to be next. Many plants will also grow flowers. Flowers help make new seeds by creating pollen, which is a powder, you can actually see it stuck to this bumblebee here, that travels from one flower to another. Flowers attract insects with their smells and bright colors, and then pollen sticks to the insect. Bees fly from one flower to another and then leave the pollen behind. Once a plant has new pollen, it creates new seeds. That's why without bees or other pollinators, it would be hard for some plants to grow. So bees are super important, friends. Without them, we wouldn't have flowers, which would not be fun. They're an important part of plants' life cycle. Afterward, the plant loses its flowers and new seeds start to grow. So here was the bean plant's flower. It lost it, and now it's growing its pods. Now new seeds grow here with our beans, and the cycle starts all over again. Okay, we're actually going to skip this next chapter because it's what we're learning about next week. So we'll finish that last chapter next week. But I hope you guys liked learning about the different types of plants. Again, I'm going to put a link to two SciShow Kids videos. They're going to teach you about some of these different types of plants. And one of them is going to be about the Venus flytrap, that strange bug-eating plant. So I hope you guys enjoy learning about that, and I will see you on Monday. Bye!